Smoke time. On the full moon of a 2005 suburban night, the house at the end of the street sat dark, its occupants long asleep. Desperation of the grinding sound as the lighter's gears turned and struck the flint, creating a spark that would not last, which made Collin slam his fist on the black wooden desk of his smoke shop. "Just a few more small sparks and it'll light, I believe," he said under his breath as he fumbled with the lighter in the cold room. Throwing the lighter to the ground with the rest, Collin sighed and stared out the small window of the shop door. "Maybe if I'm fast enough I can light some paper with the oven tops." He breathed heavily into his hands, warming them for the trip ahead. He opened the door and wind immediately through the door closed against him. With a heave, Collin struggled as he stepped through the 4 feet of snow that covered the lawn that was between him and his parents' house. He quickly realized he had nothing to burn. He should have grabbed something from the shop. With a heavy head, he trekked through the rest of the snow to reach the back door. Collin opened the door silently as he felt the muscles of his mouth tense, preparing to stop if he made but a sound. He managed to close the door, and he removed his snow gear as he thought of where to look for something to burn. The drawer squeaked as Collin tried to open it. "Okay, not that one, I guess," he said to himself. "There has to be something on the fridge." Tiptoeing around the table in the kitchen, Collin looked at the fridge in the dim moonlight that was coming through the large window across from the fridge. Collin saw what he needed, a notepad. Collin chuckled as the stove top began to warm up. He placed his hands close to it as if it were afire, sighed as he could feel his fingers again. Looking down in the now red-hot glowing metal coils, "I have to be quick, I can't light the joint inside." He placed the paper on the coil and lit it ablaze. Collin turned around, and before he could make it across the kitchen, the paper was no longer lit. "New plan," he said to himself. He placed several pieces of paper on top of each other and rolled them up. "Light the paper like it's a joint. Genius!" he proclaimed. He proceeded to light the rolled paper. He was going to make it. Ashes scattered as he tried to fast walk across the kitchen silently. The idea was sound, but he had made one mistake: the smoke. A sudden explosion of sound as the smoke alarm began to buzz. Collin froze in place. He was doomed. He lit the joint and took a big puff. "Well, might as well enjoy it while I can," he said to himself as he sat down on the couch. He took another puff and tried to blow a smoke ring. It was an absolute failure. He began to cough as footsteps could be heard stomping down the stairs and voices clamoring above the noise of the smoke alarm. One word was on the lips of everyone: Collin. The sound of the alarm stopped, followed by only the sound of footsteps. Collin's heart was pounding as he knew he was not making it out of this. 4 figures emerged from the doorway, entering into the sunroom where Collin sat smoking his joint. "You are the most irresponsible, selfish buffoon," his father roared as he entered the room. Flicking on the light, Collin squinted in the sudden brightness. "Might as well have a puff while we were at this." Collin raised his hand out with the joint. Collin's mother, with a furious look, grabbed the joint and began to take a large puff. "You are grounded for 3 months, she yelled as she blew the smoke towards the roof. She looked at the joint, surprised. "This is good stuff." Collin's father placed his hand on his hips and stared at him with a furrowed brow. "I have had enough of your shenanigans. It's the middle of the night. What the hell are you doing?" "Okay, things got out of hand," Collin responded. "I ran out of lighters and I needed to get this joint lit, so I tried to use some paper and the stovetop to do so. I miscalculated that amount of smoke for the smoke alarm. I'm sorry. I knew I was busted, so I lit up anyways. By the way, my girlfriend got into a car accident. That's why I needed to smoke so bad."